It's more than just steel and gears. It pulls you in and doesn't let go.
Okay, hello. Welcome to the carousel. This is Isaac. Quick one today because I know I haven't streamed for about a week. I haven't done a podcast for like a week, and solo episode. I've been traveling, been very busy. Um, just wanted to talk about a couple questions I've been getting a bunch in terms of the ad world, things that people are seeing. So. First and foremost, you may have been noticing there's this kind of odd trend that sees ads and branding of various kinds. Um, there's this kind of vibe where it's like credits on a screen. So you'll see kind of a nostalgic VHS-y underlying image with rich colors and the feeling of almost a Stranger Things, but a little warmer, a little more developed, like kind of a updated version of a Spike Lee movie or of an urban landscape movie about coming of age. You'll see that on the background, and then on the front of it will be like a scrolling text. It's this very striking design that you're seeing coming in and sort of the top level of branding. And I think the best example of this is the new ChatGPT campaign, which I'm really into. I think this new campaign is great. This ad we're about to watch is my favorite of the campaign, but the campaign is all about these like small moments in life that ChatGPT can help with. Let's just watch this one. I'll sort of narrate it for people who are just listening, but okay. So again, it's this kind of cute, nostalgic image. We got Perfume Genius playing. It's a girl and a guy, really young, like early 20s, in their house, and it's basically ChatGPT giving this guy a recipe that says, "I like you, but I want to play it cool." And then we see ChatGPT's recipe scroll up the screen, and then at the end of it, almost like a movie credits, we see ChatGPT and its logo, as you would at the end of movie credits see, the logo for New Line Cinema or whatever. And so it produces this feeling of being in the movie theater in the early 2000s or something. It's nostalgic. There's this transparentness to it that's kind of gorgeous. The music selection of this is really good. What's so great about these ads is there's no sassiness, there's no agenda. They're really just a picture of a point in time. This whole ChatGPT campaign, it's very well done, and it's created by probably the top people in the game right now, top branding agency. So I'm deeply jealous of them. Everything they do is really good, and they work with the top clients in the world called Isle of Any. This is like this cool new branding firm, and they are a offshoot of Droga 5, which for a little while there was one of the top big agencies in the game. This seems like more like a branding agency. Although they're doing big ads, they're doing big TV ads. So again, they're not, necessarily not an ad agency. But the thing about this idea that I like so much is that it's a small idea. The trend that you're seeing right now is the schizo cuts and vibe cuts and super edits, whatever, that people post on Twitter and X and Instagram. You see really upstart brands like Bandit running these really basic sort of collage videos. We'll watch a Founders Fund one in a second. And those simple ads, those simple sort of vibe reel videos that are all VHS-y and sort of nostalgic, those have become so dominant that now every brand wants to do that. You'll see other brands doing that very poorly, which I'll show with Claude in a second. But what's great about this campaign is it takes that kind of desire for nostalgia. It takes that era of film that we all kind of yearn for, and it doesn't try to, I don't even want to say woke, but it doesn't try to make this some really big fanfare. There's no quippiness in these ads. It's just like beautiful moments from life. And then you see this ChatGPT prompt response sort of roll over the screen like you would credits in a film. It's just a really fucking genius, all around great visual combination of things that I think resonates really well. On the other hand, the other AI company you have out there is Claude. So Claude has released what amounts to basically straight up schizo cuts. And straight up, this is just a pure, I think what people are calling this now is a variety show ad. But that's really just another way of saying schizo cut or vibe reel. It comes from pretty much right-wing dudes doing this on X. And, you know, these used to be like Nazi edits where there would be like a spinning, not a swastika, but a spinning, sun cross, which was like some sort of Nazi emblem. And it would be a bunch of like exploding statues and things like that. That became sort of the currency of the social media sphere for these kind of propaganda ad things. And I love them so much, not because I don't like the Nazi imagery in them, but I just, the creativity of these supercuts. It wasn't all Nazi also. It was all types of different things were being kind of highlighted. It would be like, the little dark age edits were a way of articulating the world that used to be and the world that is now, or a destroyed world versus what a new world could look like. So schizo cuts, I'll just call them schizo cuts because that's what I call them, became sort of a currency for propagandists, all us guerrilla propagandists on the internet. And you feel that leaking into everything else. Actually, before I even show you the Claude ad, which is sort of a ripoff of all that, let me show you a Founders Fund schizo cut, which became kind of famous. People at home are going to be very annoyed by this because they can't actually watch it. But the Founders Fund clip it's 2 minutes long, and it's just images from American culture. So it's like Lana Del Rey, it's spaceships, it's all that stuff. And in the middle of the Founders Fund video, there's just the Founders Fund logo that's sort of growing and building. In a weird way, even though the ChatGPT ads are totally different because they're actually shot on site and they're just one moment, they're similar in the way they're treating text. And you're almost seeing through the text to what's in the background. So look, we don't actually need to watch this Founders Fund thing. It's just they became famous. It's still their pinned tweet, Founders Fund Teal's thing. And they made this beautiful schizo cut video that kind of became their calling card. Before everybody thinks I'm like saying Nazi stuff is good. But like anything great, it comes from the darkness, right? Anything good, it originates in the darkness, it comes to the light. So this way of art, this way of coding your propaganda and coding your ads has really become dominant. So here you see Anthropic, which is, the woke AI. They're leading behind, they're trailing behind what ChatGPT is doing. They have a crappier agency. This is done by Mother, which is sort of a mainstream cool kid agency, or was like 10 years ago. And what you have here is basically a schizo cut. So here, I'll play this. This is the Anthropic Keep Thinking with Claude ad. Now, there's something I really love about this, but the rest of it kind of sucks. So here, I'm going to play it.
There's never been a worse time.
Problem.
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 There's never been a worse time. There's never been a worse time.
So we're just seeing a bunch of images of piano.
There's never been a better time. A better time to have a problem. To be stuck. To be overwhelmed. To be impatient.
It's a collage of imagery, people building things,
To
people
be
looking at
out of
things.
ideas or out of your feelings.
So we don't actually need to watch the rest of this, but to just break it down. It's the same thing. It's kind of just pure schizo cut. It's a collage of imagery. It begins with a great insight of it's never been a worse time to be a problem. And that's the first half of the video. We see bad images. This is something my agency does all the time. This sort of little dark age cut where it's something bad and then it turns into something good. So the first half of the video is bad things. Pianos falling out of the window, and they say it's never been a worse time to be a problem. That's a great fucking insight. So that's what we call an insight. Again, in the world of marketing, runs on insights. Insights are universal truths. A good insight is behind every good piece of propaganda ever. It's just a sort of universal truth. Everybody, when they hear it, they immediately understand it. It's like a new way of talking or thinking about something, but it has universal resonance. So, it's never been a worse time to be a problem is a great, insightful line, because what it's saying is thinking about problems, the fact that AI now exists, problems have never been easier to solve, right? It's thinking about it from the perspective of a problem is a really great concept. It's like, if you're a problem, your life got much harder because ChatGPT exists now, or Claude. Great concept. And then the second half of the video is it's never been had a better time to have a problem. And then it's all a bunch of problems being solved by people. So it's a great insight. Mother still has it in terms of their ability to just have insights. The thing that's kind of lame is they then turn it into kind of a Nike ad, because the line is keep thinking, which actually has nothing to do. Then it becomes keep coding, keep learning, keep doing all these things. So what you have is actually a brand line. The way that a great brand line and a campaign line should work together is that it's, take Snickers. The campaign line or the ad line is you're not you when you're hungry. Then the brand line, the thing that the brand is Snickers satisfies. So that's like a 1-2 punch. It's like you set up the problem and then you give the solution to the problem. Here they have keep coding, which was clearly somebody's idea. It looks like think different. It's some lame thing. And then they say have Claude, AI for problem solvers, which is like, also, it's a good insight, but it doesn't really come together. And, they kind of screw up the campaign, because they're trying to do a schizo cut, but the schizo cut's kind of, it just doesn't really work too well. You can tell there's too many cooks in the kitchen, too many people trying to get what they want. And so great insight, but ultimately, I think ChatGPT outdoes Anthropic yet again. Another place you're seeing this same aesthetic, I'm sure everybody saw the baseball ads from, the greatest to ever do it, Wyden Kennedy. These were after the Dodgers won. Speaking of film credits, exact same sort of treatment. There were like film credits going down the screen after the Dodgers won the Super Bowl, and like with a Nike sign. It looks exactly like the ChatGPT thing. It looks like almost like, when you reach the end of the credits in a movie, you see like whatever the name of the producer is, or like this was presented on VistaVision, and it's like a weird little logo, and then it scrolls up. You're seeing basically the same thing here, except it's a Nike thing, and then it goes in reverse. Here, I'll play it. It goes in reverse, and you're seeing rewind VHS vibes. and then the text turns blue, and we're seeing the hilarious thing of Blake Snell staring in the camera, and then it's like the credits, and it's the name of the Dodgers. And of course we have this fucking horrible Kendrick Lamar song, or whoever the hell, and it's really, really lame. And in the background we're seeing images of the Dodgers winning, but it's in this kind of VHS thing. This also is an extension of the same campaign, also by Wyden Kennedy, who's long been Nike's agency, which had Ken Griffey Jr. playing the organ, and it was cut exactly Schizo cut style with a bunch of VHS images of old baseball, with kind of Ken Griffey Jr. playing the organ, and then you see Ken Griffey Jr. and he goes, ha ha ha, like it's just this kind of bombastic, gotcha, ooh, hip hop coded bullshit that people are just so fucking sick of, man. Like rap songs, again, off the top 40. Nobody wants to see this like gotcha, ooh, we're a bunch of, badass, sassy, finger snappy, people. And so this campaign, it's like the style's cool again because they have this sort of transparent, it's noticeable, it's VHS-y. They have this kind of transparent text treatment that works really well, but it's mixed with this Kendrick Lamar song that's just like, yuck. And no one wants to fucking see that. And that's why I really got to give it to fucking Isle of Any, or whatever the fuck they're called. Isle of Any. Yeah, they didn't succumb to the pressure that surely somebody said of, well, where's the representation? We need a rap song. Instead, they got this like super hipster song from Perfume Genius or whatever the fuck. And it's just really good. It's like so indie and just completely unconcerned with like anything besides just great style. Whereas the Nike thing, of course, we have to have this, it just has to be weighed down with this like hip hop treatment that some white woman inside there just has to see, or else she gets scared. So anyway, very interesting things happening. I do think that things are getting better in the ad world. You can definitely tell that things are improving in this sort of way. There, like the sort of the call has gone out very obviously to like some, especially I think after things like Cracker Barrel, inside the corporate world, there seems to be a strong vibe shift feeling of, okay, people are understanding that this refinement culture, making everything bland, making everything hip hop, it's just not really working anymore. So good ideas are kind of coming to the fore a little bit more. Now, there's one other guy I want to talk about today who is Zoran, our boy Zoran Mamdani, who obviously, I am against his policies very much so, not a communist. But undeniably, you can't deny that he is the coolest thing around right now. And several people have commented on the quality of his campaign stuff and negatively. And I'm like, dude, this campaign was really good. The aesthetics of his campaign were fantastic. And I'll show an example here of just a weird little like GIF he made that is so strange, but the vibe, it's this kind of like, again, it's a little VHS-y, it's a little deep fried slop-y, but the way that it's designed and the way it goes is just so striking, and it stops the feed. And I want to use it as an example of something that works really well. So here, this is it. Again, there's not really much to be said about it besides what you see here. Just says polls are open, and it's this, very strangely, you're seeing the mountains of the Hindu Kush, which looks kind of like Switzerland, and then his face pops up on a flower that sort of unfolds. It also has this VHS. I've been getting really obsessed with like early, like the very beginning of time-lapse photography, so sort of grainy flower stuff. Funnily enough, Isle of Any, the great agency I was talking about, their website is mainly a big grainy video of a flower like unfolding. So very funny there because, small world. Or not small world, but just another example of sort of what I'm talking about. But anyway, and like if you listen to this little Giphy thing that that Zoran has made here, let's hear just the sound for a second if I can figure out how to do it. Here's the sound. Yeah, so just techno, Hindu Kush, this kind of crayon collage, hand-drawn thing. And the thing is, here's what people have to understand. Again, it's about little ideas. This one little stupid 8-second animation is worth 100 crappy commercials. So the whole design of Zoran's campaign was sort of done by this. It's very weird. It was done by like a guy who barely even has an agency. It was some guy in Philadelphia who is Indian or something. His name is Anish Bhupathy. And Anish is like a graphic designer behind visuals. But you look at Anish's agency website, he barely even has a website. It says like website coming soon. And the work that he has on Instagram is like really bad besides the campaign for Mamdani. So it's very weird. You see this actually all over the political sphere. Two of the people in Kamala's inner circle also ran one of these like vague branding agencies, but like same thing. You looked at their website and it would be like incomplete. So I think what basically happens is these graphic designers have websites with somebody and then they just kind of hitch their wagon to them and then they're making so much money, they just never have to really get around to making the agency. So I think that's what happened here with old, whatever his name is, Rajneesh. So Bhupathy. So anyway, he's saying that all of the Mamdani work was inspired by bodega signage, the signage of like the hot dog stands, those kinds of things. And you know what? It's really effective. The design, it's got this kind of hand-drawn crayon thing, and it just really works. Here, let's look at it really quickly. So he has these sticker things. They had this idea of doing these like sticker things that have the policies on them. So one of them is freeze the rent. One of them is fast and free buses. One of them is childcare for all. The colors are like striking yellow, blue, and red. And I've been telling everybody this hand-drawn thing, everything is going to this hand-drawn thing. We're leaving like the era of like annoying art school kind of fonts in corporate Memphis, or, on the right, it would be lots of rocket ships taking off and like Anduril, lines and lasers. And we're leaving that whole thing and we're going to like the world of hand-drawn, because obviously in the age of AI, anybody can make these slop things immediately, right? So Zoran does a great job with this. He has, he's got these maps that are sort of hand-drawn looking with this font. The colors really just pop. It really is kind of, it's not Obama, like, that was truly a moment in time that will never happen again, where he got, Shepard Fairey to do the thing. But it is like a little mini Obama blip. It's like the way they've done a curveball in the design here, using a guy who really isn't even good. So clearly this is like coming from Mamdani himself or his wife. Like, these ideas are really fucking good. And when you just see this little dot that says freeze the rent, this little dot that just says fast and free buses, little dot that says childcare for all, great fucking propaganda. Because what Zoran proved is, as soon as you get past the woke, and everybody's gonna say, oh, he is woke, he's not woke. Zoran is not fucking woke. He's a communist. He's a real, actual fucking communist. And so he ran on affordability. So easy, so fucking easy to run on affordability. How hard is that to do? And each one of these little dots, beautiful hand drawing, and just boom, the name of the policy in 3 words with like a little cool drawing of it. Really, really smart. Obviously, I think that he is nuts. I think that he hates white people for sure. And I think that he wants to basically subvert the United States of America so that his vague notion of the international common man can rise up and finally get justice upon the white man, which is fucking hilarious because he basically is the white man. He's just pretending, he's mad at the white man. So he's like, again, he's the edge of the upper class. So he's the brown edge of what he perceives to be the white and Jewish upper class. He feels snubbed. This is what communism has always been. And so, hey, let's destroy the entire fucking system and make sure nobody has anything so that I, myself, who was snubbed at a party one time, can feel like I did something. Now, that's what I think is actually motivating him. In reality, all the arguments about affordability, about student debt, about housing prices, about all this stuff, I'm completely on board with that. I think that the fact that hasn't been addressed, I think that, Charlie Kirk, right before he died, went on Tucker, and the whole interview was about the right needing to understand that the young people can't afford shit anymore. It's such a disaster that everybody's living on credit. The stock market's fake. It's so fake. The economy is so fake that it's just completely ridiculous. You have these houses, people rent just astronomically higher than it could ever have any business being. Nobody can afford everything. Everybody's living on credit card debt. Salaries haven't budged. The whole thing is a fucking joke. So you can't blame young guys, especially ones who aren't fucking like autistic computer fucking guys, for being really, really depressed about the economy and about their prospects. So I agree with the problem. The fix, however, is never fucking communism. Obviously, it never works. Things only get worse. Go to fucking Cuba. Zoran, go to fucking Cuba. Do you want to turn Manhattan into Havana? Havana, where there's lines around the thing. There is no culture in Havana. You want vibrant street culture? Zoran wants vibrant street culture, right? He wants to eat with his hands. He wants the bodega. They love talking about the bodegas. There's no fucking bodegas in Cuba, my friend. There's government-run stores that don't have anything on the shelves. There's no vibrant street food in Cuba. They think this. They think that there's vibrant street food. There is not a single fucking street vendor selling a Cuban sandwich in Havana. That does not exist. It is a disaster. Nothing is open. The restaurants are disgusting. There really aren't even restaurants allowed. You have to have a government restaurant. They served canned shit at the restaurants. It's fucking terrible. It is like this managed economy. It's so bad. So, if you want fucking street culture, maybe don't do communism. Just a thought. Especially, did it work in the USSR? No, people were like selling their children for a bottle of like a special brand of cigarettes because you're right, they want culture. So anyway, Mamdani, great job on the campaign, but bad job on your hatred of white people and desire to destroy Western civilization. That's pretty much it for me. I think that, we'll see what goes on in the next little bit of time. I have a lot. Wait. Sorry. There was one more point I wanted to make before leaving. So Cuomo realized he was way out of his depth. He realized he was going to lose. And so, again, this is the power of branding. Halfway through his campaign, he changed his logo to try to like be cool like Zoran. And I just want to show you, this is the old one. So the old one is just red, white, and blue, zero thought put into it. Again, like, it's so weird. The world of branding, nobody makes more money than political branding people, and nobody does less work because they're in and they do the media buying. And so it's like they try to make it bad. And as soon as somebody comes along and tries to make it a little good, it like makes a big difference. So here's Cuomo's other thing. You could not imagine a more lame and boring thing. It's just red, white, and blue, Cuomo for mayor. It's in boxes. The 4 looks like it's just sort of pasted on. Really bad. And then they changed it halfway through and they made it even fucking worse. They changed it for some reason to orange and blue. They made a weird sunshine thing that looks like a pharmaceutical company made by AI. It looks like a pure pharma. Somebody either spent 0.2 seconds doing this and they were just really cynical and didn't give a fuck, or somebody got paid way too much money to basically make put a prompt into ChatGPT and be like, son, Cuomo, It's so bad. Literally the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Like the Cuomo brand that they changed it to, it's nonsensical, completely nonsensical. Okay. Somebody says, I'm convinced Cuomo was run as a foil for Zoran to knock down. He's very obviously the future of the party between millennial social lib stuff and lumpen ethno-coalitionism. Yes, well said. Look, not everything is fake. This is what I'll say to people. Everybody thinks everything is fake. Everybody thinks the reason the New York Times is talking about Fuentes is because they're trying to prop him up and they want him to speak for the entire right, because that will then make the right look bad and the right will never win again because then there'll be Nazis and yada, yada, yada. Everybody thinks Zoran is actually, it's too good to be true. It can't be real. He couldn't possibly win in New York. The Jews run New York. He couldn't win. This must be some sort of Jewish conspiracy, or it must be some sort of Dem conspiracy to actually, hand off the baton. And dude, sometimes people are just good. Sometimes people are just fucking good at what they do. And that's what I think we're talking about Fuentes, we're talking about Mamdani. They're basically the same guy, right? They're far on the edges of each thing. They're really disaffected youth. They're fucking very problematic in different ways. I mean, the Fuentes debate, or the Fuentes thing with Tucker, I thought Tucker seemed great. Tucker seemed like a really good head on his shoulders. I don't think Tucker is anti-Semitic. They both said they had Jewish best friends, which was really funny. But the stuff that Fuentes was actually saying is terrifying. He's saying that women need to worship men, which is like, look, I'm as Tucker says, maybe guilty of a little misogyny myself, but to think that that's the way forward for guys, it's just, that's never been, come on. That's not, even in the Islamic countries, that's not really the vibe. It's more like protecting women. And it's just like the inceldom there where he's like, it's based to be gay and we can't even be around women at all. That's terrifying. The stuff when he's talking about Jewishness, that's so academic. That's so like, let's try to make sure that everything in the world can be explained by these abstract academic concepts like Jewishness. It's not Jews, it's Jewishness. It's exactly like whiteness or, toxic masculinity. It's this, and that's why Tucker does such a good job. He says, like, look, you can't, the reason the Western world works is because it treats people, it doesn't give them original sin, right? Just, you're part of this group, you're fucking dead. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to make fun of people. It doesn't mean you shouldn't be able to generalize. That's what life is about. It's blah, blah, blah. But to say like, you can't separate Jews from Jewishness. First of all, that's a Marx essay, literally. Marx wrote an essay saying that exact thing. And, or he wrote an essay saying that you should separate Jews from Jewishness. But anytime it's in the ishness stuff, it's just like, all right, first of all, it's not true. And second of all, that's whiteness. It's the same thing. It's the same thing of like, all that's doing is taking a blunt object and making it so that anything can be explained by that thing. Any Jew who's not participating in subversion, nope, but you know what? They still have Jewishness. So therefore, they're guilty in some way. You can't judge them individually because they have the Jewishness bug. And it's like, all right, come on, man. That's not what America's about. And you got to treat people to a certain degree based on their talents, based on what they can offer. Can you make stereotypes? Can you make judgments based on your past experiences with different races? Of course you can. Asking to not have that is also woke, right? But at the same time, I think Tucker totally had that. In any case, despite all of these things, negative things about Fuentes, he's fucking good at what he does. Very good. He is very, very fucking good at what he does. And he's hilarious. He's fucking hilarious. And as somebody said recently very well, he's got the whole saying the N-word and saying gay and saying whatever the fuck he wants and saying exactly what we have in our minds but we're not allowed to say. He's got that whole thing on lock. He's the only guy who can do that. So he's got a whole beat. It's so hilarious. You see these Fuentes clips, they're fucking hilarious, even though they're nuts, but they're funny because he's saying these things that you're not allowed to say, right? So it's not like this magic fake thing. I do think Fuentes probably at some level does have some deal with some higher up. I think it's somebody on the left, somebody who wants to create mass distraction. That's the sense that I get. Everybody is a master, though. So the whole thing can't just be explained by, it's a conspiracy. It's the same thing with Zoran. The whole thing can't just be explained by, oh, actually, it's a conspiracy to get him in there because he has a relationship with this person and blah, blah, blah. All of Fuentes can't be explained by, oh, the New York Times wants to make him famous, so that's why he's famous, because then he's going to destroy the right. Nothing is that simple. Is that true of the New York Times? Yes, of course. But is that why Fuentes is rising? No, Fuentes is rising because Fuentes is rising. Same thing with Zoran. Zoran is not rising because he's a puppet that's being used by blah, 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 blah. People are actually very good at detecting those types of falsities now. People are very good at not liking really fake figures, right? You see what's happening to Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is plummeting into nothingness because he went from real to fake. He took the mantle from Rush Limbaugh. He was the analyst. He was the debater, blah, 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 blah. But then he ran into this issue where he couldn't debate it out. There was no debating it anymore. So he started kind of cutting corners. He started trying to destroy people. He started trying to say shit. Oh, I'm going to give this long speech. And it just doesn't work because it's phony. People can tell when it's fucking phony. Actually, Zoran is less phony, right? He's less phony than certain other people because he lets the mask slip. He's basically saying the truth about communism. He's saying, we're going to nationalize your shit. Hey, landlord, we're going to come fucking make you fix that fucking thing. Hey, we're going to make the buses free. We're going to make the restaurants free. He's basically telling the truth. So people like that. The reason why it's not that he's fake, it's that he's actually less fake. It's just that the moments that are fake with him feel fake because they're so fucking obvious. And he's such a gross, weird clown, fucking smiley, creepy clown man. But he lets the mask slip because he is a global communist. That's what he's here to do. He is here to subvert global capitalism. People forget Castro. Do you know what Castro called himself? Castro called himself the leader of global subversion. That's what Castro's name for himself was. Castro was like, we're the capital of global subversion. So that's what a communist does. They subvert. And it's so obvious that that's what Mamdani's here to do. And he's gonna subvert everything he can. He's going to try to cut every corner. He's going to destabilize the power of, white guys and capitalism and all that type of shit. And he's being a lot more straightforward about it than the left has ever been. So I think he terrifies the actual left or the Dems. I think Mamdani fucking terrifies the Dems. But the New York Times, look, they want to be cool. Yeah, do they want to? The whole media, they want to be edgy. So they're going to find these guys on the edges. They're going to find the guys who are organic. And both Fuentes and Zoran are more organic than their phony-ass counterparts. And I think that that's a lesson. The lesson is to be more organic. Be more true to yourself. Say what you actually think. Life can't get by forever with bullshit. And it's like that's what's Ben Shapiro is going stale like milk on the shelf. And I like Ben Shapiro. Look, I've always liked Ben Shapiro. I don't hate Ben Shapiro, but he's going stale because he can't just fucking tell the truth. He can't just go up there. Anybody who says, "Oh, do Jews have dual loyalty?" That's anti-Semitic. You can't ask me. No, you can't ask me that. It's like, dude, just tell the fucking truth, Ben. Just be like, yeah, I'm loyal to Israel. I'm fucking obsessed with Israel. I'm a huge Jew. That's what I care about. What can I say? Instead, he's trying to fucking do everything at the same time. Dude, just be honest, man. Just fucking go out there and tell the truth. That's what the Torah would say. I know, I'm sorry. I'm not going to fucking pull Torah rank on Ben Shapiro. He'll kill me. But I'm just saying, in my rudimentary knowledge of the Torah, which I do study as much as I can, I think it would say be honest and stop trying to hide the ball, Okay. Anyway, That's it for me. Yeah, I'm gonna do more of these solo shows. I'm sick of having people on this show. It's so fucking boring. I'm sick of doing interviews. I'm sick of everyone. And so yeah, I'm gonna do a lot more solo streams. Tell me what you guys think of that. Usually the solo streams do better. So let me know what you guys think. Peace.
Say no way.